Hey guys, welcome back, or perhaps welcome for the first time to the Appalachian Ladies channel. My name is Sarah, and today we are going to be starting a playthrough, a little bit of a solo excursion, if you will. This is actually my favorite game of all time. This is a game called Shenmue, and if you've never played it, it's probably not that surprising because this was released back in 1999 for the Dreamcast, and although it was, amazing and really far ahead of its time, Dreamcast overall really didn't do that great as a console. This is my favorite game of all time. This is kind of the game that I attribute to loving video games and what makes me judge video games the way that I do and how much of a story-driven game I tend to go for, because this is very story-driven and it's wonderful and really ahead of its time, but also still very quirky and funny, and it's got that old game feel to it, so I do love replaying it. We're going to go ahead and start with a new game, and I'll kind of introduce it. So like I said, this was made in 1991 for the Dreamcast. I was about 8 when this came out. Should I have been playing it? I don't know, but I did. And my brother and I really loved this game. It was, it was really our favorite thing of all. And Shenmue 2 came out in 2001 for the Dreamcast, if you could get your hands on it. And then it was released further on the original Xbox in 2002. And the reason that this game recently got re-released in HD for the PlayStation and the Xbox, and I believe the PC as well, is because Shenmue 3 got announced at E3, and it started this huge Kickstarter a couple years back, and it was huge, and now they're saying that it's going to be released next year, and I'm so excited because it'll literally be 20 years since the original came out, so we've been waiting a very long time. According to them, though, it may not even wrap up the story. They're kind of hoping to do more after that, so I don't know how I feel about that, but, So, yeah, this game's amazing. It's very far ahead of its time when it came out. It's very open world. You get to kind of walk around and do whatever you want, and there's a weather, and there's a day-night cycle, and you have to be in bed by a certain time, and you can talk to whoever you want and do whatever you want and spend your day how you want. And you have to get a job, and it's amazing. I love it. I'm going to try really hard not to, quote this game very much, because I can. I probably played this game over 100 times, I would say, all the way through. That actually might be a low estimate. Ooh, I don't know. On the Dreamcast, this was 4 discs long, so you had to switch discs at certain times. I believe the first disc switch happens around when you go to the harbor for the first time and you get your job and everything. So, for the last time, I would assume a lot of fans are probably gonna be very aware of this game and what I'm talking about. If not, it's a huge cult classic. I mean, to this day, it's it was kind of mind blowing when it got announced at E3. It was such a huge deal because it is such a cult classic, and to this day, I still compare games to it. It's kind of funny. It looks really nice. The update of it looks really good, I think. The controls, I tested it a little bit just to see, and the controls are still a little bit wonky, but they were kind of wonky back then, so that's alright. So you play as this guy, the little teenage guy. You play as Ryo Hazuki, and Lan Di, this guy with the killer-ass scar. He is going to be your main kind of end goal of getting back at, for reasons you'll find out. But this game's awesome. It's, like I said, it's open world. You can talk to anyone, do anything kind of thing. It's a bit more open in the second game. You go to China in the second game, and there's just it's a much bigger world than this game is. But I still prefer the first one, and I think the second one was good, but I like the first one a lot better. So they're trying to find something called the Phoenix Mirror. It's very important to them. Enough so that Lan Di would kill for it, apparently. Look at those creepy, Men in Black style people. They got the painted on ties and stuff. His outfit's really nice looking. I mean, that's pretty solid. But some of the outfits just kind of look like they're painted on. He's got like painted on abs too, which is nice. Who doesn't want a man like that? KO. Sad face. He kind of reminds me of like a Dothraki with the big long ponytail. Like they're gonna cut it off when he's defeated or something. But I think that was actually a samurai thing. So they dug under that tree hella fast. Like, I mean, it took them a minute top to find that mirror, and he's just like, later, gator. That one guy holds the door open. That's like his only job. And Ryo's just got his ass beat. Kind of like an iconic outfit here. It's like one of those things that you always remember is that Ryo's jacket. Stupid jacket, and he never changes out of it. He always has that jacket on.
For leaving you alone. What are you saying? Father!
Your friends. Keep friends. Those you love close to you.
Keep friends. Those you love close to you.
I feel like that would be a really awful way to die.
Father. No!
So yeah, that's kind of the beginning, and you know what you're setting out to figure out is, you know, why did Landy do this, and what's the mirror for, and you know, Ryo wants revenge, and he wants to become a better martial artist, to, you know, to be able to defeat Landy one day. And you have a pretty, you know, solid line a path that you go through, but you can do some kind of side stuff. There's a lot of like optional stuff too that you can miss. A lot of like, if you go to the park after this sequence, you can help Naomi not get beat up by this guy because she's trying to protect a kid or something. So there's a lot of like optional stuff.
A letter for Hazuki-sensei.
But for the most part, it's pretty straightforward. So this is like your, I guess like your maid, Ine-san. No mother in this game, an absent mother. Not unlike a Disney film. So Ryo's having nightmares here, kind of like Commander Shepard in Mass Effect 3. I'm convinced that's where they got the idea. Sick moves, bro. So one of the things that you can do as soon as you start right here is kind of optional. Is you can kind of like explore the house and get a bunch of extra stuff and things like that, and I tend to do that right away. So I'll probably just clip through it a little bit. It can be quite boring. Ryo's very slow at opening cabinets and things like that. Oh, here's this little notebook. So here's like a bunch of phone numbers that you can call, and you have like his friends that you can call as well. And then he like leaves notes in here, and you know, if you ever need like a reminder of what you're doing or something like that, it's gonna be right in here. He leaves a lot of empty space. I feel like it's very wasteful in terms of a notebook, but that's okay. I also don't know where he puts it. He carries a lot of shit around, and he has no pockets. You can collect like cassette tapes. You can also collect toy capsules, so like stuff from like little like quarter machines, like little, you know, toys that you see outside of Kroger all the time. And there's your little cassette player next to his questionable bottle of what looks to be lotion. I'm not gonna ask. And another cassette. This was always my favorite cassette too. I really liked this music. The music in this game is beautiful as well. It's wonderful. There's nothing really you can collect in these drawers, or that I can recall. So we're leaving now. There's the Ine.
You should still be resting.
I'm fine, really. And you? Are you alright?
Yes, but I must keep busy.
So Ine's on the first
I'll get depressed.
half of the game at least. I don't know. I can't remember if she still does it once you get a job or not, but she gives you like an allowance, which is pretty dope. You can go spend it all at the arcade and play a bunch of games, and you can win prizes for doing well at the arcade games, which I always aimed for.
From tomorrow, I'll
I'm
pick
rich.
up half of the shoe cabinet every day.
Do you know where Fukusan is?
Okada-san, I believe he's in the dojo.
Really? Thanks.
Alright, so now's about the time that I just kind of free roam the house, because you can interact with a lot of stuff and find a lot of stuff, and you can also unlock certain memories that you have with your father. I don't think there's anything in this room that I can grab. I think Fukusan's room has a move book in it, a move book. Shadow Reaper. So you can get moves and find them and stuff like that, and then there's also a shop in Debuita where you can buy them. One of them's really helpful for when you fight this super difficult guy at the end, and it's one of those situations where he's really hard to beat, and you can either win or lose, and the game still continues. But he's really hard to beat. You find him in the arcade. It's pretty cool. Let's picture my fam. There's just random ass hallway that has nothing in it. I don't know. So you can sneak around, sneak up on people. Down here is a very nice surprise. If I can move. Oh my god. You can get your Sega Saturn. What? And with this, you can actually win games at the tomato convenience store when you do the raffle drawings, and you can win the games that you play in the arcade. That way, you don't have to like pay to play them. I don't know if you can. Oh, here's some batteries. You'll need those later for a flashlight. Like way into the game. His pockets are getting a little full, but he doesn't seem to mind. I don't think you can get all the games. I think it's, you get Hang On, and you can get, Space Harrier. Oh, you can trigger this little scene right here, looking at this, with your dad. And it's basically Rio not liking carrots. He's like, well, this bitch nasty. Yeet.
While you're still sleeping in bed,
Farmers are working hard in the fields,
carefully pick
so that you can eat those carrots.
one by one.
You selfish bastard.
So how can you waste them like that?
Look how cute he is, the little kid. He has the same haircut. His eyebrows aren't on fleek yet, though. This is one of those games where I always thought the food looked really delicious. Is that weird? You know, like when you watch cartoons, like old Nickelodeon cartoons, and the food looks delicious? He makes funny noise here.
Good. That's
I always thought the food looked really delicious. And there's like 17 restaurants that in this game. That's an exaggeration, but there's a bunch of restaurants that you can go into and kind of roam around. If you open this cupboard here, there's a cockroach in it. And he goes, just a cockroach or something. Yeah.
It's just a cockroach.
Yeah. A lot of tomato stuff. Tomato-based products. I think the only other thing I can find in here is milk. But I don't think there's milk yet. No, there's not. I can get some matches over here somewhere. Yeah, this is like a shrine thing. Get some matches. Light some candles. Don't think there's anything else in these drawers. No, there's candles. JK. I picked the right drawer, too. I think that's it, though. I think the only other place we need to go is Iwao's room, or Rio's dad, and again, kind of an unnecessary hallway, and it triggers a memory Because he has a letter or something. Yeah, there it is.
Dear Ryo, those who follow the path of a warrior
Those who follow the path of the warrior must be ready to die.
in order to stand by their convictions. Live for one's convictions. Die for one's convictions.
Iwao seems like he was a good dad.
Is how I lived my life.
Taught his kid good and everything. I don't know why it's so damn dark in this room.
It is up to you.
He died and they just like never turned his lights on
Your
again.
path.
It's kind of sad. Kind of get a sneak glimpse at the way that Ryo likes to pick up
My
stuff. I'll have
father
to
must have known
I'll have to show you that.
was coming.
I classically call them his claw machine hands. Is there something in this drawer? I don't recall. Yeah, there's a key. There's a key under this thing.
What's this key for?
I believe this is the key to the basement of the dojo that you get to later, if I'm not mistaken.
Key.
It has been a long ass time since I've played this game. I think I bought a Dreamcast. Me and my brother did a couple years ago, like 3 years ago or something. I don't remember even. And we bought a copy, like an original Dreamcast copy of this game, because ours got destroyed and scratched up to pieces because we played it so much. And there's no other door down here, is there? No. And we played it, and I don't think we ever got to finish it. I'll pick up this teapot, because who doesn't pick up teapots the way that Ryo picks up a teapot? Here we go. Ah, yes. You can swing it like a bell. Whoop, whoop. His hands, his fingers aren't even making contact with it. I love it. I love it. This game has such an emotional impact on me in terms of, like, my childhood and stuff, too, that, like, it was one of those situations where I actually cried. I physically cried when I found out about the third one and that they were finally going to release it.